This is a very serious case.
Store receipts showed Pereira bought beer twice on the day of the crash, and investigators found an empty 24-ounce beer in her car. More testing revealed Pereira also had 3 cannabis-related compounds in her system, 2 of them in concentrations high enough to affect Pereira's brain, according to testimony. Pereira, who has been diagnosed with non-epileptic seizures, told a witness after the crash that she'd had a seizure before it happened. Her attorney, Hubble Lawson, tried to convince Judge Sabella that her seizure disorder was a factor in the collision. Sabella dismissed the argument in his announcement Tuesday. He noted that the data recorder on Pereira's car showed she was driving 120 miles per hour 5 seconds before the crash, then slowed to about 100 miles per hour and turned the steering wheel just before impact, evidence that she tried to take evasive action. Pereira then continued driving for about 2 miles before the tire fell off and hid vials of blood that had been drawn from her at the hospital. "Miss Pereira, you attempted to flee until your car no longer allowed you to flee," Sabella said, "and to the extent that has been attempted to be explained by the seizure, you continued to avoid any responsibility for this crime in the hospital when you attempted to conceal the tubes of blood that had been taken from you. Last month, days before her trial was set to begin, Pereira pleaded guilty to 9 charges, including 3 counts of DUI manslaughter and 1 count of leaving of the scene of a crash involving death, leaving herself at the mercy of the court. Sentencing guidelines called for a prison term of at least 35 years. Lawson asked Sabella to depart from the guidelines and give his client 20 years in prison, followed by at least 15 years probation. Lawson argued that her criminal history was minimal and she had no intention of hurting anyone. Others testified that Pereira shouldn't live free for another day. Rita Philippak's father, Michael Serrani, took the stand Friday and told Pereira she deserved to spend the rest of her life in prison.
"I can't forgive you. There is no forgiveness for this."
Guilty to 9 charges, including 3 counts of DUI manslaughter and 1 count of leaving of the scene of a crash involving death, leaving herself at the mercy of the court. Sentencing guidelines called for a prison term of at least 35 years. Lawson asked Sabella to depart from the guidelines and give his client 20 years in prison, followed by at least 15 years probation. Lawson argued that her criminal history was minimal and she had no intention of hurting anyone. Others testified that Pereira shouldn't live free for another day. Minutes before her sentence, an emotional Amber Nicole Pereira mouthed something over.
Your life is ruined, but you also ruined a lot of lives and ended 3 lives.
Tracy Kelly was driving the 3rd car involved in the deadly crash.
From pain, but also from nightmares. My nightmares include being left at the scene, abandoned at the scene, screaming for help when you weren't there.
"I can't do this anymore. I need to end."
Absolutely, sir.
Sorry. Thank you.
Prosecutors asked the judge to throw Pereira in jail for life. The defense asked for 20 years. Judge Sabella slapped her with 50 years, which is pretty much a life sentence, the kind of closure Tracy Kelly was looking for.
Knowing that she has now lost her life and that she will spend her days in pain, just her not being happy every day brings joy to me.